Hello trader, welcome back to deeppocketsforex. We'll be giving you a weekly forex forecast. If you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification button to get our weekly updates. If you've been watching our videos and you like our videos, please make sure to drop a comment so that you let us know that these videos are valuable, and also don't forget to drop a like. Now, before proceeding with this video, we would like to share with you one tip that would help you in the forex market. Now, your goal in the forex market, when you trade, you're not looking for to be right all the time. The main goal is to create an edge for yourself, to put yourself at a better position, to have an edge over the market. Sometimes you'll be wrong and sometimes you'll be right. Now, your goal also is to make sure that whenever you are right, you maximize the times that you are right. And then whenever you are wrong, you minimize the times that you are wrong. You should not fear to cut out your losses, or make sure that you always have your stop loss set in place so that whenever you are wrong, you are immediately cut out into a losing position. Then whenever you are right, you make sure that your right positions, you let them run so that they're able to give you that edge in the forex market. Now, before wasting any more time, let's get started with a weekly forex forecast. This is USD JPY. For USD JPY, from this level here, we've been talking about a big wave up, and we say that we're expecting a big wave. This previous weeks we got price moving like this, following our forecast, then we got an up. This past week we forecasted that price from here, it'll give an up move, which is slightly gonna break this previous high. We said it's gonna break this previous high, then we'll be getting the down move here, and that's exactly what we got. We got price moving up from here, breaking previous high. So this next week we're expecting a drop here, and this drop is expected to break this previous low according to structure. Now keep in mind that all these movements, we're just breaking to you what structure is giving currently. The main movement that we focused on was from this area. We say that we're expecting a big wave up, from this level here. Now if you go onto the higher time frame, such as the daily, you'd realize that this up move is from here, and there's a big wave that is forecasted. It's forecasted to push all the way up to this area. Now this is a movement that would not move overnight. You can already see that structure moves like this, it moves like this. We can get price moving like this, but the forecast is saying that we're expecting price to head all the way up to this area. Now sometimes from here you can get price moving like this based on momentum. You can get price heading up to this area sooner or later, but according to structure we're seeing this up move all the way up to this area, and that is what we've been forecasting from this area on USD JPY. This is Gbp AUD. For Gbp AUD, we forecasted this down move here, this pullback here. We talked about it. We say that we're expecting this last down move, and then we would expect a big wave up, Now keep in mind that these are not small movements that we've been forecasting. These are huge movements. Now, as you can see, just getting this focus, this pullback here, we focused this pullback, and then we focused this up move here. Now, if you measure this up move from here to here, you realize that it's around 600 pips. So if you're able to catch this buy, just hold on to the buy, because it's expected to be a very big wave. Now, if we go to the 1 day time frame, you'd realize that this movement, it was expected to move all the way up to this area. Now, as you can see, we focused this up move from here all the way up. This is the 1 day, and then if we go back to the 8 hour, you realize that we got this movement from here all the way up to this area. Then from here we talked about a corrective structure. We say that we're expecting this corrective structure to complete, and then as soon as it's completed, we'll be expecting another continuation up. Just as you can see, we have price moving up from here. Just as we stated this previous week, we're getting this impulse here. Price is expected to continue up, then head all the way up to this area. That's what we're expecting on Gbp AUD. We're expecting continuation up. Now this is NZD. Now for NZD, we had price around this area this past week. We said that we're expecting price to give a correction here and then continuation up. Now you can see that it has just given a slight correction here. It has just given a slight correction, then it continued up. We say that we're expecting a correction, then price will continue up all the way up to this area, and that's what we have. As you can see from here, we say that would be giving an update, and during the week price has given that correction and then it has given that up move. From here we got an impulse down. Now what we can give, an update that we can give from NZD from here is a corrective structure here. We're expecting to get a corrective structure and then price will push down. That's what we're expecting on NZD. Keep in mind that this corrective structure can either be a small one or it can be a bigger corrective structure growing big, then we get this down move here. But whatever it gives here, we'll be ready to look for a sell opportunity when the corrective structure is completed. We can be selling the impulse move, the next impulse move on NZD. Now this is USD Chf. For USD Chf, you all know that from here we forecasted a big wave up. We said we're expecting a big wave up, and we've been giving you updates on a weekly basis. This past weeks we got an up move moving like this up to this area, and we say that around this area, when this movement gets around this area, there's a chance that from here we might be getting a pullback, either from here all the way down to this area, or just midway. We said we're expecting a pullback. That's what we stated. We said we're expecting a pullback, and then we got that pullback. And then from here, this past 2 weeks, we forecasted that from here we're gonna be getting a corrective structure like this, moving like this up to this area. And then we say that from here, after the corrective structure is completed, we'll be looking for a down move. Now this down move can continue all the way down, breaking this previous low and breaking this previous low. Now if you'd love to look for this sell, wait for your entry setup, and then you look for an entry, then you can sell all the way down to this area, breaking this low and breaking this low. If you get your entry confirmation here, you can be looking forward for a sell opportunity on USD Chf. This is USD CAD. For USD CAD, we've been talking about a big wave up. We've been Sigma expecting a big wave up, and as you can see, we've already started getting a big wave. Now this movement from here, this past weeks, we talked about a big wave up, either from here moving up like this, and then we also stated that this is a big move that's expected, so there's also always a chance for manipulation. Price would always want to make sure that as much people are out as possible, so that when it goes up, there's liquidity in the market. It wants to make sure that there's liquidity in the market, so as much people as possible are out, then this movement will start moving just as we stated. Now if you go on to the 1 day, just as forecasted, we forecasted that this is a big up move. It's a very huge movement up that we forecasted on USD CAD, and we say that it will not go until it takes as much people out as possible. Now you see that here we got a down move and up move, then we started to get big bars forming here on the 1 day. Now this next week we're likely to get a corrective structure on the 4 hour here, then price can continue up. Now what we'll be doing, we'll be looking forward for an entry to be able to buy USD CAD. If we get our entry confirmation, we'll be looking forward for a buy, then we're able to buy all the way up, because this is a big movement that we've been talking about. But it looks like the big movement is maturing now, so we'll be looking forward for an entry to buy all the way up, because this is a big movement on USD CAD. If you don't know how to trade this setup, if you don't know how to look for an entry, your strategy is not able to help you get a good entry here, just stay out of this setup. Focus on setups that you're able to trade. This is Euro USD. For Euro USD, you know that we've been forecasting this past movements. And in this previous week, we talked about this up move from here. We say that we are expecting this movement to reach this area here, and you can see that we got an up move. Price is moving like this. Now from here, what can happen? We can get an up move, slightly breaking this previous high, then get a drop like this. It's possible to get a drop here up to this area, barely breaking this previous low, then price will be giving you an update. Also from here, we can just get a slight correction, then get price pushing down. But this down move has to be satisfied either from here, as you see we got this drop here up to this area, or from here after giving this up move here like this, then giving this drop up to this area. This down move is a needed down move according to structure, so we'll be waiting to see what happens here. If it gives an up move here like this is an opportunity to be able to look for a sell from this area here. But if it just gives a slight correction, you can just ignore this drop here, and then you can be waiting on our update. But as of now, we are expecting to get a sell only from this area if price heads up to this area. If price decides to move up to this area without giving us a pullback or a good correction, here like this, we'll just be ignoring this down move to complete. That's the structure that we have on Euro USD. This movement that we focus that is going to head up to this area, it looks like structure has changed. If structure is to give an up move, structure would not really give an up move that would reach this area. Probably it would just head up to this area, then we can get this drop just as we just stated. AUD NZD. For AUD NZD, you all know that we've been focusing this movement, this big movement, and then we made an update when price got to this area. We see that we're expecting a pullback here, and there's a pullback that we traded. And also from here, we say that we're expecting this movement all the way up, breaking this previous low all the way up. Now during the week, we shared this on our community tab. We shared this update here of this forecast. Now in the inner circle, we managed to realize that this movement here is barely going to break this previous low, this previous high. Then we can get this drop. We can get this drop sooner. Now this drop is expected to break this previous low. We're expecting to get this drop breaking this previous low. This drop is expected to break this previous low. Then we will be looking forward for an up move. This big up move will be expected to break this previous high and this previous high. Now keep that in mind. We are expecting price to push down like this because of change of structure. During the week, we had a change of structure showing us that price would no longer break this previous high. Before we got this drop, this was an update that was made in the inner circle that price now is likely to push down, breaking this previous low. Breaking this previous low here, price is expected to break this previous low, then get this up move here. That's what we are having on AUD NZD. From here, we got a drop. From here, there's a chance that we can get a slight correction, then another drop here like this, breaking this previous low, or we can just get price moving like this, breaking this previous low, then head up. If we don't get a good correction here, you can be waiting on price to complete its movement, then you can look for a buy. If we get a good correction here, you can get a sell, and then you can get a buy. You can get a sell from here, and then you can get a buy from here. That's what we have on AUD NZD. Keep in mind that just because we are saying that get a buy, get a sell, it does not mean that the moment we get a correction, you jump in immediately. What we do, we wait on our structure, and then when we get our structure forming there, we look for our unique entry strategy. Then if our entry strategy is not satisfied, we will ignore this drop. But if our entry strategy is satisfied, we'll look for an entry to sell. Then from here, when price gets to this area, and then our entry strategy is not satisfied, we ignore this. But if our entry strategy gives us a buy opportunity, we'll be looking for a buy to go up with an up move. Just because there's a movement, it doesn't mean that you should always be involved in the trade. Only look for your entry setup, so that you should trade that and then repeat that over and over. That's how we prefer to trade the forex market. Here we have Gbp Usd. Now for Gbp Usd, we've been talking about a big sell. We've been talking about a big sell for Gbp Usd, but we said it's not ready yet according to our structure. We said it's a setup that we've decided to put aside for now and then monitor it, but not interact with it until we spot an entry. That's what we said on Gbp Usd. Now for Gbp Usd, we haven't found an entry yet, but during this following week, we'll be keeping a close eye because it's showing signs that we are likely to get an entry. If we get an entry, we'll be looking for a movement to sell all the way down. The arrow shows a down move that is likely to break this previous low, but structure can change along the way. Structure can change, so we'll be giving you those updates. Price can move like this, then up to this area we have a change of structure, then we give you an update. But as of now, using current structure, we're able to see that at least price can move all the way down like this, breaking all the slows according to current structure. Now if we get this movement down, we spot a change, we can be giving you that update. And then if we get maybe a pullback here or a correction, we get a down move, we spot some changes here, we can be giving you that update. But as of now, we're spotting this down move. If your entry strategy gives you an entry during the week or the following week or the week after, you can be looking forward to getting a sell on Gbp Usd. That's what we have on Gbp Usd. We'll be looking only for sell setups. Even if this setup decides to continue up like this, slightly breaking this previous low, this is not an up move we will trade. We will not trade this because we know what we want from Gbp Usd, and what we want is only a sell. That's what we're looking for. If we get a buy, we will not interact with Gbp Usd. This is Gbp NZD. Now for GBP NZD, we say that we'll be getting some pullbacks here. We're expecting some pullbacks, and before continuing up. We said before continuing up because we say that there's an expected up move, which we say it was big, but as of now, focusing on this current structure, we are expecting a small correction here, then up. This up move can slightly break this previous high, or it can just head up to this level, around the same level as this previous high. Then anyway, around this level here, we'll be expecting a drop, because there's a structure that is forming and is against whatever up move that we forecasted. Is showing that it's negating whatever up move that we're forecasting. So that's why we're giving you this update, that anyway from here we can get a correction, then up, and then we can have this drop, and this drop can break this previous low, and it can break this previous low, and maybe slightly break this previous low. But we'll be giving you updates on that when we get around this area, so that we can give you our opinion on GBP NZD. This is CAD CHF. Now CAD CHF, this past week we say that structure is showing a down move. Now remember what we said. We say that when price wants to move down like this, remember this, always keep this in mind. When price wants to move down big, it will also always give a spike or make a trap to trap as many traders as possible, then give a drop. Now this level here that we talked about, let's go to the 1 day. Currently we're on the 1 day. Let's go to the weekly. Now if you look into this, you see that this is the exact level we say that we're expecting a drop. Now see this level, what happened? It's just a spike, a big spike to trap as much traders as possible. Then as soon as all the traders are trapped, this drop can come. As soon as all the traders, all buyers are trapped, because when people see this bar forming, they would buy, and much traders are trapped for reasons of liquidity. Then this market can start giving opportunities for sellers. That's how the market plays. It's just mainly deception. Whenever the market is trying to move down, all the buyers will be deceived to think that the market is going up. Then whenever the market is going up, all sellers will be deceived to thinking that the market is going the other way. We have EuroCAD here, EuroCAD. Now for EuroCAD, this past week we focused on an up move here, but the up move barely broke this previous high as we had expected. We said that we're expecting a break of this previous high, then a drop. Now you can see we had this drop before getting this break of the previous high. We say that all this that will be happening, we'll just let it pass. Then whenever this movement is completed, we can be looking forward for a buy, or if we get a good entry here, we see that we'll be looking for a sell from the top. But this up move here, this is not an up move we're looking for to trade. We say that anywhere from here, if we get a good opportunity, we can be selling, but price never reached this area. It just dropped like that. Then from here you can see we're heading up. That's what we're expecting. We're expecting an up move. From here we can get a corrective structure here, then price can continue up. It can be a small correction, or it can be a bigger correction, then price would continue up. But an up move is expected from here. This is an expectation. Up move is expected on EuroCAD. This is NZD USD. We got this movement up, sharp movement up, then sharp movement down, and then we're expecting a corrective structure here, then continuation down. Now if you go onto the 1 day, you realize that it's just a sharp move up, then a sharp move down. Now this is a movement that was expected. We're expecting a movement up, then this down move here was expected, but it wasn't expected sooner. We just moved up like this, and then we moved down. What we're expecting to get this up move and small down move, and probably just a correction, then continuation down like that. That's what we're expecting, but we moved up sharp like this, then down sharp like this. Now if you go to the weekly, you realize that this is just a spike. But what we are expecting, this is just a spike. You can see the spike here, this big spike on the weekly. What we are expecting going back to the 4 hour, we're expecting this corrective structure to complete, then we can get a down move. Now this down move can break all these previous lows, maybe around this level here. That's what we can get on NZD USD. GBP JPY, we are expecting a down wave. we're expecting a down wave. This is the movement we've been talking about here, like this. From here we talked about this down move here, like this. Just as we've stated on the previous pairs, this pair is one of the pairs that have been manipulated, because many people are thinking that it should continue all the way up, but any continuation up here, we will not be interacting with any buy. We will wait for our sell setup. Even if this can continue moving extra 100 pips, we'll wait, because there's a big movement being promised here. There's a big movement being promised on GBP JPY. Now if you go to the 1 day time frame, you see that this is a very big movement, that we are forecasting. And usually big movements, they are heavily manipulated. If you trade big movements, one thing you should always ensure that you have is patience, because if you're looking for a trade on a big movement, it means that you'd lose patience, or you probably blow your account before the movement is ready. Then the time the movement comes, your account, you've already lost your account because of impatience and because of over risking. So you need to be patient, and you need to be willing to apply good risk management. So for GBP JPY, we are expecting a drop here. If we catch our entry, we'll be selling. We will be selling. If we manage to catch our entry, we'll be selling. As of now, we're just monitoring it from a distance, because we have not been getting our entry. We've been waiting for this movement to complete, this up move to complete. But if we get our entry this week, we'll be looking forward to selling this all the way down. This is Gbp Chf. Gbp Chf. Now for Gbp Chf, right now, what we can have a correction like this. You can have price moving like this. Then from here we can be giving you an update of what's happening. You see, like this, kind of like this. It's possible to get price moving like that on Gbp Chf. Let's wait and see how it unfolds. If we get our entry and we're able to trade this down move here, we can be catching that. So as of now, we just wait, or we can just get maybe a correction here like this, small correction, then price moves like this. That's what we're expecting. Or we can have price just giving a correction like this, and then alternatively giving a sharp movement down like this. That's what we're expecting on Gbp Chf. If we manage to catch our entry, we can be looking forward to selling. Now also remember this, in the forex market we focused a wide variety of pairs. You can see we're focusing a wide variety of pairs. Now what is your duty? Your duty is to go through all these pairs and look for the best setups. You can choose 2, you can choose 3, you can choose 1, and then focus on that pair closely, and then follow it closely such that you know that this movement is ready, and then you can catch that, because you cannot trade everything. You just need to focus on a few pairs that you can trade. You can focus wide, but focus narrow. You see, that's what we are looking for. You focused wide just to get a bigger view, and then look for the best setups, and then look for trades on those best setups. That's what we're looking for in the market.